Welcome home, Rev Pack Marcus here, and welcome to Comfort Cartoons. Today is going to be a whole lot of fun because it is an episode of Captions on Box, Please, Out of the Vault, Out of the Vault. I almost poked my eye out with the corner of this box. You didn't have to caption that part, Ryan. Yes, so this is the series where I show you guys some stuff that I have been hoarding or accumulating in my vault. Items you guys have never seen before, whether I pick them up online, via garage sales, gifted to me by friends, flea markets off camera. But I love to share everything with you guys, so I wanted to put that stuff in a box and wait till it gets full so that way I can share it with you. And as you guys can see, took us a little while to get this one ready because a lot of it is overflowing. But it's going to be a whole lot of fun and nostalgia. We have some absolute grails that we've been adding in here, a bunch of awesome Nicktoons related stuff and Spongebob related stuff that we are going to be adding. And for those of you guys who aren't aware of what the vault is, essentially everything that doesn't come in this room, which I like to call the cavern, will usually typically go to the vault, where I continue to add and preserve these items, so hopefully one day I can add to the ultimate goal of having the world's biggest Nickelodeon and Spongebob archive and collection. So all of this stuff has been sitting away in the vault waiting for you guys in this video. I cannot wait to share with you guys some of the amazing stuff we got to add recently. I'm gonna break all of it down. We're gonna dive into the nostalgia of these things too. Without any further ado, let's get into it. So let's go ahead and put this box down. Some of this stuff I have not seen in a long time, so I cannot wait to share it with you guys. I don't even know where to begin. Let's just start with an absolute freaking banger. I cannot believe what I am seeing. So, many of you guys know I did this video where I covered the Fairly OddParents collection that I picked up from a member of the community named Proxy. We got an unbelievable collection. We got all of, I think they're called the Noggin Knockers, Fairly OddParents character bobbleheads. We got 3 of the Palisades figures, being Vicky, Cosmo, and Wanda. And for those of you guys who have been following the channel for a while know this, but if you don't, the Palisades line of the Fairly OddParents figures are unbelievably difficult to collect. They're super expensive and they're incredibly rare to find. So even the person I picked them up from had been hunting and searching for those figures for a period of 2 years to find all the ones that I picked up from him. But he was missing one character, and that is, of course, who do we got here? Cosmo, Wanda, Vicky. I know who you're thinking. Who's the last person? Crocker. No, Timmy Turner, of course. So an awesome legend. You guys who have been here for a while already know the man, the legend, Don the Whale. He's been looking out for me for a while. He sent me a link to this guy, and Ryan, give me a freaking picture of Sonic running. Imagine that times 10 to the eBay to try to pick this up, and I was able to get it, and now we have Timmy Turner added to the collection. Oh, Ryan, give me a glowing light. Oh, more glow, Ryan. Oh, more glow. Oh! This is unbelievable to finally have in my hands. This figure can go, I mean, people ask $400, $500 for them in some cases. I was able to get this guy for around $200, which is so expensive. But it was the last one I needed. So now we have a complete collection of what is undoubtedly the best, most articulated, and beautiful Fairly OddParents figures ever created. And inside of here, let's go ahead and look at the pieces. So you comes with Cosmo and Wanda in their iconic fishbowl, which is so cool. It's got Timmy with his baseball, which I just can't really remember a lot of things with him in. I mean, I guess he was on a baseball team, right?
Don't you want to try some Timmy-O's?
That loser cereal? Ooh, that's for pack mules.
We got the microphone, which I don't know if that one's from maybe one of the musical episodes, but I'm thinking it's from the Double T in the Morning.
You're Double T in the morning?
No, I'm not.
Where he gets like this super like bravado like radio voice, and he's like doing his own radio talk show kind of in Dimsdale. And then one of my favorites, you also see he's got the Crimson Chim comic book. I say Crimson Chim, but not just that, he has the zombie hamster, the hamster that his mom actually buried in their backyard because, well, everything she touches dies. So that is the last one I needed here, and I'm so freaking pumped to have this guy. They did an incredible job of making all the pieces feel like they really were ripped straight out of the show. So I'm so glad that I got to share this with you guys, added it to the collections. That's just how, that's an idea of what's going on in this box. This is a literal Nickelodeon dream box here we are going through. So let's see what up next here we got. Next up here, these are 2 items from a show that really doesn't have a lot of merch, and I wish that it did. It is really tough to find anything for the show, and that is the Mighty Bee. Yes, so this is Bessie, as you guys can see here, voiced by Amy Poehler.
Can I come?
Many of you guys may remember Mighty Bee. It was kind of around the same, I feel like around the same time as like Tough Puppy, Danny Phantom, maybe like a little bit before like Fanboy and Chum Chum, around that ballpark of an area. But there is absolutely zero merch when it comes to this show. There is, I believe, there's 2 DVDs, which I have one right here, and the other item I could find that is possible to be out there that's not like, you know, in-house, like Nickelodeon employee exclusive, is this right here. This is the original premiere ad for the Mighty Bee when it came on Nickelodeon. And for me, I wish that I got to watch the show more than I did. I watched it a good amount of times in the morning, but it got kind of put in an early time slot where I feel like I didn't get to see it as much as a lot of other Nicktoons were. But you might notice there's a little bit of like marker there on the front there. My pen wasn't that great, but he tried his best. We also got this signed by one of the co-creators of this show, Eric Weiss, who I got to meet up with, and is just an incredibly kind and amazing soul. And he was so kind enough to also sign my Mighty Bee ad here for the show. And I also got what I could find as like the rarest Mighty Bee item we had in the collection. I was debating between him signing a sealed copy of this DVD or signing this one, which is the Blockbuster version of the Mighty Bee. And I thought I went for the Blockbuster because you can still find the Mighty Bee sealed on like the internet now, but you don't really see the Blockbuster copy nearly as often just because it was on the tail end of Blockbuster's, you know, kind of even existence. So the rarest version I could find in our collection of the DVD, and now we get to add these to our archive as well. And I'm super, super proud of these. An amazing piece to add to the collection. And that's the greatest thing about building this collection, is not only do each one of these items just add to the epicness that is the cavern, but not just that, you know, every single one of these items is a shared experience I have with the item, and majority of them with you guys here. I didn't want to film in this situation here, but I could not go without sharing it with you guys at least, so that way we could have this shared experience and at least featuring it here. So that is another item. So we're gonna keep pulling stuff out. It's just gonna keep going. All right, so next up here, I was at the flea market, and I wish that I would have had my camera this day. What happened was, do you know the little thing I wear on my neck? It broke, okay? It broke, and then I had to get a new one. And because it was broken, I was like, you know what, I'm just not gonna film today. You know, I'm still gonna go hang out with everybody there. I love going to the flea market, even if I don't even pick something up or that much up. I just love hanging out, talking to my friends. It's like this social gathering, I guess you could say. So I went, and then of course, the amazingness happens, and I don't have my camera. So I'm gonna get everything out before I show you guys it. So you guys know, a while back, I picked up an entire TMNT collection at the flea market. And we'll put some footage right now as me kind of like showing you guys it all in the box, us kind of going through it so you can see kind of the volume of it overall. But with those items and a few other items you guys have seen me collect since then, I am nearing a pretty much almost 100% complete collection of the original first year release products for TMNT when it became a Nickelodeon show. So essentially it's freshman year of being a Nickelodeon property. I have all of the products almost, besides like a small amount of them, and one of the hardest ones to find was this one here. But we have these as well. So this is these little TMNT T-Sprints, a little random product, but it's like basically the Ninja Turtles getting these little like rides, and they have like a little rev up wheel, so you like get the engine going, you put them in their little vehicle, and they just take off. They sprint, you know, Flintstone style underneath the car, getting them going. But we have Raphael, we have Leonardo, and look at the price tags on these, okay, as we go through them. Look at the price tag on that, okay? $75 is what somebody was asking for. But we got Leonardo, Michelangelo with the frickin' party wagon, Donatello with his dorky little, like, patrol buggy, Leo gets a shell razor, Raph gets a motorcycle stealth bike, he gets the party van, you get a patrol buggy. Come on, man. For all of nerdom, you gotta do better for us. Do something cool too. You already have a stick when they have bladed weapons and one that spins around, and you got a broomstick. Come on, get a cooler car. And then we've got the shredder version of it as well too. So you might notice all of those said $75, and you also might have noticed on these ones here, all of the turtles, a little signature up there, and that is because all of these were signed. I found them at the flea market, signed. Ryan, drop in on my mouth. Signed. And all 4 of them are signed. So I got them all for like, I think I paid like $30 for all 5 of them. Even though the price tag said $75 on them, I could not believe the deal that they gave us on them. And I found one of the hardest to find original wave TMNT items, and that is this, the Michelangelo's Tea Blaster here. Are you freaking joking me? You know how sick that is? That's why Mikey is the greatest turtle. Do you have a gun that has your face on it? Can you imagine having a freaking Magnum or revolver and it's just your face? That is pretty horrifying, but at the same time, that guy means business. So Michelangelo has the Tea Blaster here. It's so integrated with Mikey, even the bullets have his head on it. They have his face flying. So these are essentially like a Nerf gun. There are some other ones that I need to collect. I would say these, and I think like 2 other products, are all I need to complete the entire original line. So now I gotta start looking out for Mikey's crossbow, the Leonardo gun, as well as the Raphael gun. You're like, Marcus, how can, this is amazing. How could you even outdo this? There's no possible way that you can outdo, well, shut up. Yes, there is. No, don't shut up. That actually fills me with deep festering sadness. Leave a comment down below just saying, hey Marcus, have a great day. That would mean the world to me, you know? I always say, oh, let me know what was your favorite this. Oh, let me know what was your, what color the sky is for you. But no, this time just say, Marcus, have a great day. And I'm gonna try to give you a heart back. So the same day at the flea market, it was just a dumb day. I think I might have added this in a video, like in a small clip, but I don't know for sure. So I wanted to share them with you guys. So these VHSs, I found all of these at the flea market the same day. Some unbelievable ones. So when it comes to Nickelodeon VHSs, anybody who's out there hunting, whether you like Nickelodeon like that or not, you know the ones you typically find, it's gonna be Blue's Clues, Rugrats, and sometimes, if you're really lucky and a little mermaid magic, you'll find Spongebob one. But other Nickelodeon characters, maybe you'll find Ren and Stimpy. But outside that, preposterous, unbelievable. No way you're finding it. So we do have some Ren and Stimpy ones here. These are some absolute grails. We have the Christmas VHS, we have the Twisted Tales Volume 2, and then the Toga Classics 2. But these 3 right here I'm so glad that I got to add these to the collection, because these tapes go for like 40, 50 bucks, and with everything else I'm trying to add to the collection, it's always about being patient for me. A lot of times you can add some stuff to your collection very easily. You go online, spend $100, $200, you can get it, but I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not trying to complete every single item in the collection tomorrow, I'm trying to do this forever. I love this as a hobby. I enjoy it so much, so I'm not in a race to finish anything. If I can, then great, but the process is what it's all about. So I didn't want to pay that much for these VHSs, and I knew one day I would stumble upon them. So right here we have Meet the Monsters, the Real Monsters VHS. We have Rocko's Modern Life, Machine Madness. We have Rocko's Modern Life with Friends Like These. And I have many of the other Hey Arnold ones. Like, I've got a lot of the other Nicktoons VHSs now. I don't think I'm anywhere near like a complete set of all of the Nicktoons VHSs, but this was a nice little, jump forward into that goal. So wanted to share that with you guys. And then speaking of Hey Arnold, here we go now. Hey Arnold! We got Helga Pataki. So this was actually a friend of mine. Well, they didn't really know who it was. Funny story. So they were like, hey, don't you collect Nickelodeon? I found this Angelica. And I was like, oh, I love Angelica. Man, Angelica's my favorite. So I bought it in a heartbeat. So this is, of course, Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold. It is so tough to find Hey Arnold merch out there. I'm fortunate enough that we do have a nice Arnold here. I also have a Gerald. I have a few other, Hey Arnold plushies that are vintage too. But one character I did not have any many plushies of, and that is Helga here, and that just looks so good. It is by Namco, so I would assume because of the little string back here, maybe it was like a fair prize or something like that. And with the fact that we have the giant cat dog that we found a while ago, that we found at that vintage shop, which we gotta do another video back at some of those vintage retro stores. We gotta do that again. But when we did that, that was also a fair prize. So there was at some point in life where like you could go to the fair or like an arcade, and there was like Helga Pataki hanging up to win as a prize, and cat dog. And there's only a few things that I wouldn't give up to be able to go back in time and experience that. Just to be able to just see that available, you know, like now you only really see SpongeBob, you know, like SpongeBob's a prize maybe, Sonic, you know, you get your main guys, but finding like smaller characters like that, it's just, even today though, like I don't feel like that happens, you know? Like you don't typically see like, you know, prizes for like brand new shows, you know, at the fair typically, or even video games, you know, unless it's, you just get Mario, you know, you get SpongeBob, you get like these mascot characters that just kind of encompass a whole thing, you know, rather than like, even at that time, Hey Arnold wasn't the biggest thing out there. I mean, it was a big show, but I mean, you had Looney Tunes were super hot in the 90s, The Simpsons were huge, you know, there were so many other big, the Rugrats were far bigger than, you know, Hey Arnold. So the fact that they were really pushing stuff out there and stretching their legs and making some awesome stuff is incredible. So bam, we got Helga. And I really have to do a video on this day because I got a pretty fire iCarly collection that has been growing and building up in the vault, and I keep saying I'm gonna do a video on my entire iCarly collection, but I just haven't got around to like getting everything together and doing it. But inevitably at one point in life I will do it. But we have some iCarly pickups too. So this right here is a epic iCarly tin. You guys know how much I love my tin lunchboxes. We got the whole crew right there. This looks like one of the later seasons for sure. You can tell they look a little bit older. I mean, it's kind of crazy because like when I think about iCarly, I kind of always think about them looking the same. But if you watch like the first season of iCarly, they're like little freaking, like they are really, really little kids. It's almost like 1 year after she was Megan, basically. So you really get to see them grow up in that show. So I can tell what era this kind of is just by how the characters look. Except for Jerry Trainer, who just constantly looks like the same. And then it's got the embossed cover on the back, so fire item there. And I also added this, the iCarly boombox, baby. Very, very, very sick. It has all these little like, you know, digital kind of emojis on there you guys can kind of see. And that's one of my favorite things about collecting the iCarly merch. And you guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, look at them. This is, you can tell like season 2, like 1 year in, like maybe like a year or two into it, but not at the beginning. But you know, you can see how different they look comparatively to like the later stuff. But what I love about collecting the iCarly merch is you get to really see where the transition from like us as millennials and a lot of Gen Z got to live through the transition of what is society now. Now Gen Alpha, they are completely digitized, you know, they are just completely in the matrix of the online and technical world. But we're one of the few generations that really got to live part of our childhood in the before times and part of our childhood in the after time. And iCarly is like a show that quite literally lives in that little purgatory or void in between the two. So you'll see a lot of stuff in the branding as like this working its way away from like the Frutogayero era kind of into, I guess it would be like Frutogay retro maybe. It has a lot of the like type emojis before we had full-blown emojis. So like Ryan, put some type emojis up on screen, you know, where it's like just the things on the keyboard that you can make together to look like a face. Those were our emojis, okay? Before we had a billion that are on screen here that Apple decided to release, okay? We had to work with the shapes that we had on our keyboard to make our expression known. So you'll see that stuff on the products. Down here in the bottom it says thanks with an X, and then it says ORLY. Oh really? You know, like just, but it's not even referring to anything. It's just like, this is a culture, you know, this is it. And I think where that came from was because, like, at least for me, like when you texted people, it would also take away minutes. Oh man, this is that's a whole nother concept I gotta get into if I try to explain minutes to people here that are younger than 18 right now, maybe even like younger than 25, honestly. But minutes were when you called people, you had an allotted amount of minutes you could use per month, and if you ran out of minutes you had to pay extra for those minutes, you know, and those extra minutes cost more than the original minutes. And sometimes text would count as minutes. So you wanted to make your text as small as you could with the most amount of information so that way you didn't waste that sweet minute. So I would dare say that's kind of that, and mixed with just people wanting to be efficient is where acronyms and abbreviations, in my mental canon theory, is where it came from. So I love seeing that on the box here. And yeah, I know I'm talking a lot, guys, but these out of the vault videos are really a time for me just to yap about this stuff. It's almost like a showcase / podcast where I'm just gonna yap about this stuff and talk about my thoughts on these things as we pull them out. But yeah, so that's what I kind of feel about the same thing here. I just think, like, just even the side of this tin, like all of the random culture, you know, we were starting to get into the Fred, the internet was starting to become a thing, and almost like the original brain rot was starting to become a thing. And you know, like, it's the show just embodies that time so incredibly well, better than any other show. It's like the Friends for the 2000s kids, I swear. So I love collecting iCarly stuff for that reason, and on top of the show just being fire. So boom, the boom box added to the collection, as well as my talk on iCarly. Next up here, I found this guy out in the wild, actually. I'd been looking for it for a long time. So there are a few different variations of the Spongebob movie. You guys know I have well over maybe 50 copies of the Spongebob movie over there. I'm kind of keep trying to add it to the tower, but it's harder to find the Spongebob movie. You'd think it'd be, like, it's not hard. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's not like difficult in any extent, but like, for example, my man Limestone Picker, let's take a look at his Adam Sandler collection. The Spongebob movie is not as easy to find as Adam Sandler movies, where they're like literally everywhere. You know, I see them every now and then, but I don't always pick them up, and that's probably part of the problem. I have like a rule where I won't get them unless they're like less than $2, and I live in California, so that's like almost never. But I would love to keep adding to that collection. But anyway, so there are different versions of, I didn't just go pick it up, okay, I dropped it. But there are different versions of the movie. There is the full screen edition, widescreen edition, because this is the 2000s, we have to sell them separately. And then we have the Blu-ray, now we have the 4K. We have this cover, we have that cover. But the cover that is the hardest to find is the original slipcover version of the movie. And what I have for you guys here is something you have likely never seen before. I am almost willing to bet you have never seen this before. And for those of you guys that have seen it before, you're probably as big of a nerd as I am. And nice, thanks for being here. But that is this version of the SpongeBob movie. A very prestigious, almost leather-bound version of the movie. So it comes with this cover right here, and underneath there is just your classic full screen, or widescreen, I guess in this case, widescreen version of the tape. But this slipcover only came on this form. It is also from 2004. It came out the same time. I don't really understand or what made them decide to do this cover at Walmart. I believe Walmart was the only place that had this particular slipcase version of it, but it is a very, very rare cover to find. So really happy to add this guy to the collection recently. And it just has the same kind of, you know, the same style of what's in the back of the box here, but it's just done so much more, dare I say, high class. You know, it looks fancy back there.
Fancy pants.
Okay, let's keep it moving though, guys. I've been yapping way too much, but it's okay. It's okay. This is what this video's for, okay? So if you don't like the yapping videos, this ain't the one, fam, all right? I say fam. That's still a thing. I don't know. I'm just trying to say stuff that's cool. But I'm not very good at it. We've got two of these backpack plushies. So the SpongeBob one, that is like the tried and true. A lot of people had that one growing up. So we find that one, sorry, I just get help with his hair out of here. It just kept bugging me seeing it in the frame. Let's put her in the Franklin, you're being squished by the pillow. We're gonna put Franklin over here, right next to Helga Pataki. Only on Comfort Cartoons are you gonna see Helga Pataki and Franklin both featured here live. What do you got to say to that, Franklin? And Helga?
Stay the heck out of my way. Got it.
What a dynamic duo. But the Patrick one, you never see this guy. So to find the vintage Patrick pillow plush backpack is such a grail. This is the green label one as well. He does have this little stain right here. I haven't actually tried to wash him yet. I'm pretty sure that's gonna come out. It looks very surface level. I just left it as is so that way I can share it with you guys before I, you know, get too deep into it. But we got that one here. And then this backpack right here is from a particular version of Blue's Clues. So many of you guys know Blue's Clues with Joe and Steve, and many of you guys know, what is it called again? Blue's Clue and You with Joshua. But there was a time where Blue was his own host, and he was a puppet.
Meow. Okay, cats. Watch this.
And that was called Blue's Room, where she was a puppet. And this is actually a plush backpack made off of the Blue's Room Blue. And some of that merch is some of the hardest to find because it was a short period of time that show was actually around, and it didn't have quite the marketing push that Blue's Clue and You did, or the original show did. So the merch that's out there for that show is a little bit more slim pickings. Oh, another freaking throwback that is gonna be. This is my first item for this show in the cavern ever. And if you guys have seen this show, I need you to leave a comment right now because I am so curious who is actually seeing this show. But this is such a 2 a.m. on a Sunday night on Nick at Night banger. This is My Dad the Rockstar. And for a few, like 3 people, they just got hit with a wall of nostalgia.
I'm a freak, 'cause my dad is a rock star, yeah. My dad is a rock star.
I promise you there was a few. This was the key to unlock quite a few memories right now. This show is, I believe, a Canadian made show, and this is a DVD that has, you can see on the bottom here, it says as seen on Nickelodeon, and it was actually executively produced by Gene Simmons of Kiss fame. And I mean, basically the main character's dad is kind of based off of Gene Simmons. And to be honest, I don't really remember a whole lot of the show. It was kind of like, I feel like kind of like Hannah Montana vibes, where it was like, oh, he's a normal kid, but at the same time he has this like celebrity aspect to his life because his dad's a famous rock star, you know. And it was just kind of like that weird dynamic. But I remember liking the show a lot as a kid. Like, I remember it being really entertaining, and when it came on at 2 a.m. in the morning, I stayed up until 2:30 p.m., you know, because of the show. So being able to add this to the collection was just huge, finding this out in the wild too. So you've got the disc right there, My Dad the Rockstar debut. It looks like it was animated by Funimation, which is actually more famous for doing like anime. And you can see it also did Code Lyoko. And I think Code Lyoko and like this show are like probably the only things that I can think of that were like they're dipping the toes into like Western animation, if Code Lyoko was even considered that. But this has episodes number 1 through 4. So we have the start of the series here. Super pumped to have this in the collection. I just wonder how many episodes are even out. So I had a total of 28 episodes in full. Man, I kind of like, is there anywhere to like buy this complete show? There may not even be possible to get the entire series on like physical media. I'm only able to see the first season through 3 different volumes. So I gotta get at least the first season. This is so cool though. So I wanted to show that one. We got some small little odds and ends. I'll show that stuff off real quickly here. Just kind of put it all together. We got this little wild thornberries, like banana, what is it, Banana Republic? Is that what it's called? What is this? What is that? A banana boat. Banana boat. What is that, a sunscreen? Is that sunscreen or is that pudding? I don't know. What the heck is banana boat again? With this little trinket container, we have this little harmonica for the Blue's Clues musical. This was a meal toy, I think exclusively at Subway. Yes, a Subway's meal toy. Did not have that. We have a sealed copy of The Legend of Grimace Island. I've been trying to grab these sealed copies of the Klasky Supo Ronald McDonald VHS series whenever I see them. I think I have like 3 of them sealed now, so I only need 3 more of them to have the full sealed collection. Love that. We have this random thing where like Patrick, this is like a definitely like Yellow Label 2012. Yellow Label is like famously just unhinged. Like, it was an unhinged time in the show for a lot of people, and an unhinged time in merchandise too. So you got stuff like this where like Spongebob is the car, and he's got these really widespread eyes, and then Patrick's like head for some reason is sticking out of the car. I mean, it's cool, but it's so strange, and like the quality is not that great. Like this, like the arms are printed on there, so they are not easy to remove, which is good. But the face, they're stickers. Like the eyes, the nose, the mouth, those are stickers. Like, I don't know why they went through the work of printing on Patrick's face, printing on the windshield. Oh no, sorry, the windshield is also a sticker. Well, printing on Patrick's face, the arms, and then not the windshield or the face. Like, there's just a lot of questions I have here, none that will likely be answered. But yeah, the Yellow Label. If I had to pick my least favorite, it would be none of them because they're all awesome, but Yellow Label would have some of the stuff that I would be the most opposed to, if anything. Next up here we have Doug Funny here. Unfortunately, most of Doug's merch is usually Disney licensed here, but I have the Skeeter, I think. I have the Patty Mayo. I needed the Doug, so we got this one. And you guys know I'm working on collecting every single SpongeBob tie Beanie Baby release, and I did not have this football player SpongeBob here with the tie tag on it, so we got to add him as well. Getting a little bit of run out of space here, huh? Okay, we'll make it work. I'll just move this stuff there. Okay, so next up here, do not cheat. Do not go look on Google. I want you to tell me who this is. Who is this? Marcus, why do you have this? This is not Nickelodeon. Assuredly, this is not a part of a Nickelodeon box. Well, if you don't think that is, maybe you'll think this is. No, Marcus, you're stupid. That's not a part of Nickelodeon either. Well, no, it is, okay? These two characters, I don't even know how many of these they made and why they made them. But these characters are from a movie called Wonder Park. Which is a movie about a girl. I'm gonna spoil it. You're not gonna watch the movie, let's be real, okay? You can say you're gonna, but I know you're not. You'll be like, oh, I'm gonna put that in my list on Netflix, and you're just never gonna. It's not even on Netflix, okay? So Wonder Park is a movie. Ryan, give me some footage to go with this. There's a footage of a girl who has a very close relationship with her mom. The mom gets sick, and as her mom gets sick, she starts to wither away, and it's extremely depressing. And then her mom dies, and she starts to like hallucinate that the theme park is real. Maybe hallucinating is like a like a derogatory, I don't know, like not a good word to say, but she hallucinates that it's real. And then these characters appear in her theme park to comfort her and help her build it. Like for example, Boomer here. You know, this was, I don't think he was, you know, born during the baby booming era, but I'm sure he owns his house when it was like $30,000, and he makes you feel bad because you don't have one, but you're not working hard enough. Sorry, I had to try to switch things up here because it was getting really sad there for a second, wasn't it? There's a sad freaking, just don't watch it. As much as I love it, I am the biggest advocate of supporting Nickelodeon all the time, but unless you want to be sad, that don't watch it. It is a sad movie, but these characters that feature in the movie, so these are plushies for Wonder Park, which is a Nickelodeon movie. That whole story was for me to get to the point that it's a Nickelodeon movie. Welcome to the, pun intended, roller coaster that is my mind. Eventually we got there, okay? So they are from that. If that wasn't random enough, I also have these guys who are now on the internet. I'm sorry, but I don't know who they are. You guys know Austin the Brimstone. We see him at the flea market all the time. His dad handed me this picture and he was like, here, take this. And I was very confused. And I was like, why am I taking this? He was like, look in the background. And I was like, oh. Okay, now I see where you're coming from. And now I think it's kind of cool. Like, I kind of just like, it's such a funny thing to have. It's these random guys that just happen to be behind in front of a Jimmy Neutron sign. And as far as I could find, I don't know. I don't think they're connected to Jimmy Neutron, the production, the ride maybe they were. I don't know. But I think this is the movie theater. I have no clue who they are, but I will get this framed. And mostly solely because behind them is a Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius movie sign, and these two guys that are possibly not connected to it at all. So I love this, and I'm so glad that his dad gave me this. So they got developed at Costco. So yes, there we go. I have that. Shout out to my man Tony, also at the flea market. He gave me this guy here. It is this awesome Rugrats water sprinkler. So you plug your water hose right in here. It actually takes the water and puts it up here on this water hose. And Angelica and Chucky kind of like rock back and forward, swinging on the actual hose there for dear life. And it splashed the water everywhere. You know, you go run and dance and go crazy in it as you're a kid. Look at Tommy chilling like a villain. Sorry, Bill and Lil aren't there, but the villain right there with the Reptar shades on. But he gave it to me because he knew that I like Nickelodeon stuff, but he also thought that it came with other pieces. Because on the back of the box, it shows a bunch of other water toys that are separate from this one. He thought they were supposed to come in the packaging as well. So he assumed it was like, you know, missing pieces. So he was just giving me this piece kind of for the display aspect. So I told him like, yeah, this actually is complete. Like everything you need for this product is here. He was like, yeah, just take it, man. So I do not have this in the collection. An incredible display piece here. You get really awesome molds of the Rugrats there hanging onto the water hose. Big shout out to him for handing this over. I appreciate it so much. Next up we have this Ren and Stimpy. It's not a comic. You guys know I've cut pretty close now. I'm pretty close to completing the Ren and Stimpy comic book series. This is like a comic book about comic books, and I think this issue in particular just happens to interview and talk about Ren and Stimpy in their comic book series. But they are on the cover of it, so when I saw it in a comic book bin out in the wild, I was like, I'm just gonna grab this and we'll add it to our In the Vault series since I didn't have my camera on this day. Haven't really took too far of a deep look into it, but it looks like it's talking about Dan Slott conversations with the comic writer. So yeah, it was talking to the guy who was the writer on the Ren and Stimpy comic book, kind of like an interview, you know, because podcasts weren't really a thing, so you just wrote it down and hope people read it. And a very rare situation here, I have some Dora items. I know, like, I know Dora is probably one of the, debatably, the second biggest property, maybe third now with Paw Patrol, but like the biggest Nickelodeon property of all time when it comes to merchandising as far as success goes. But I grew up with Dora a little bit, but it's just not something that I am passionate about collecting on average. There are certain items I love to collect, like you'll see in the back here, we have backpack. Up here in the top, we've got, you know, backpack. Oh, I guess just backpack. Where else is there stuff? We have a Dora, a pillow pet. I have Jaguar. I have the map around here somewhere. Like, I love little memento items, like items that kind of encapsulate the show, and that's what the cavern's all about. So in certain situations, I will pick up Dora stuff. So when I saw this out there, Dora's Casa, I had to get it. So this is Dora's house. Just Dora's house, I think, is so iconic. You see this house in the video games, in the show, you see it in the Diego show, you see it in the movies, and it's got like the full works here, like all the pieces that like pop out, like it is the full house here, I think. So you know what, now I'm starting to feel like this might not be her house. This might be like a market or something, because there's a cash register in here. Is this her house? I felt like this was her house. Now I think this is not her house. This is not her house. I don't need this, but if this is her house, then cool. Maybe she sells groceries out of her house. I don't know. What is their floor in this grocery store, though? Look at that floor that Boots is on. Look like Tanjiro's jacket from Demon Slayer. Alright, I don't know if that's Dora's house now. That kind of bums me out. But anyway, I did get this. So, again, Dora, a lot of times you'll see a side-to-side with Dora and Spongebob. So when Spongebob got a product, typically you would see Dora get something very similar. You don't see that on this channel very often. Somewhere out there's got to be like a comfort cartoons of Dora, like somebody who just really knows Dora that can just really talk about this stuff and really showcase it. I try to do my best to show it when I can, but I just am not best knowledge source for it. But there is a lot of situations I noticed as a SpongeBob fan of seeing the same item but for Dora. So this would have been, I'm pretty sure for us, we got the SpongeBob Fun Clock. For us, I mean the SpongeBob fandom. We got the Fun Clock. And for Dora, during the same time, they got this, which is, I don't know. I guess it's just them holding up the clock, like, not really the most creative thing, I guess. But you have this amazing, like, piece here where it's like them standing on, like, one of the roads you would typically see Dora on. You got Boots there as well as Dora. And they're just holding the clock floating. It also plays music, too. So, really cool. Just, like, encapsulative items like this is the stuff that I like to keep in my collection. So, I will be keeping this Dora clock here. I think this is a very, very cool piece. Just a nice little, boom, there it is. You guys know what it's all about. High quality Dora items versus all the little trinkets and dolls with frizzy, messed up hair because kids are crazy. You know, this is the kind of stuff that I want to keep. So I got to add that, and we are on our final 2 items here, guys. And of course, we got to end with some Sponge. But as we get into 2016, I mean, come on. We got iCarly today. We had this. We had Ren and Stimpy. We had All Real Monsters. We had Blue's Clues. We had TMNT. Like I said, undoubtedly, 2016, we will have a lot of Sponge. But we will have more Nicktoons than we have had any other year prior. This will be the year where we go heavy on Nicktoons as a whole. 2025 was definitely SpongeBob's year. We did some incredible stuff in terms of SpongeBob collecting, some stuff that I'm extremely proud of. And there's one more thing that I'm hoping we can get done before the end of the year to kind of put that final nail into the freaking coffin of Squidward's hopes and dreams.
Okay, get in.
You know, of the year of 2025. I'm hoping the item gets here before that, but 2026 we're going heavy. So I'm still, at the end of the day, SpongeBob's still my main man. So let's see here. We got this guy here, which is this boxing freaking slugging Patrick here. He's an arcade plush. You get your freaking headgear up. He looks like he's just like in the middle of a fight getting knocked around, you know. He's got the big gloves on there. This is a particularly kind of rare, semi-rare I'd say, arcade or fair plushie. A friend of mine at the flea market found this and decided to give it to me for a really, really good price. So shout out to them. And then finally, another item for me that was a personal grail I've been looking for a long time. I have the SpongeBob CD player, SpongeBob DVD player, I have the SpongeBob TV, I have the SpongeBob DVD and CD player. But none of those things play cassette. And there is only one SpongeBob product that plays cassettes, and that is none other than the SpongeBob stereo cassette player. Very, very hard item to find. And yes, it is still in there, and the headphones are still together. A lot of those headphones usually are just turned into powder for whatever reason. Somehow it was very well preserved. At one point, this guy was on sale for $5, quite the pricey item now at this point. And I wanted to finish it up with this one because this was like one of those grails, like even when I started SpongeBob collecting, that I wanted to eventually get. And there was multiple times I could have got it for like $40, $50, $60. But I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna keep waiting it out. I'm gonna keep waiting it out, and you know, it paid off because I got this one for like, I think like less than $10. So you know, just being patient, I finally got it. And yes, I will be keeping this one sealed. I would love to find one loose one day though, just because it would be cool to kind of be able to use this guy. But regardless, I'm just so glad to have this in the collection. And that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this wild Nickelodeon treasure box that we got to go through. There was a lot of variety in here. We got to touch on a lot of different types of nostalgia. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new here. If you guys want to support the show further, please consider checking out our Patreon or become a member here on our YouTube channel. You can sign up for as little as $2 or $3 a month. It is cheaper than a cup of Starbucks coffee, and you get to support this channel and doing this for years and years to come to help us keep preserving and making more content for you guys to see. And everybody here in this crew appreciates it so much. And you guys, as I always say, give us freedom to be able to make the content that we want to, and give us a little bit of weight off our shoulders and being able to depend and rely on us and you guys as a community rather than the YouTube algorithm god. So thank you so much to our already existing YouTube members and Patreon members. Thank you so much. Appreciate you so much as always. Again, also, if you guys want to go check out our eBay shop, and anytime I get doubles of items here in our other videos as well too, you can take a look at our eBay shop down below. Go take a look at it, and you can also bookmark that link if you'd like, and when you use that link to purchase anything on eBay, a percentage of that sale will actually come back to us to help support the show, and that is a free way you can help support the show. If you're already shopping on eBay, it costs $0 extra for you. It's just when you use our link to go to eBay before you make your purchase, a small percentage of that is attributed to us as a promotion to helping you guys get to that item, and we greatly appreciate it. So that link is down below as well. But before we go anywhere, you know the drill. Scan it! Alright, so that is it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here. Patreon, YouTube memberships, eBay, whatnot, all that great stuff is down below. Go take a look. I'll see you guys in this video right here that I know you're gonna love. And as always, beautiful people, I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios and bloop!